My name is Robbie Lauf. I'm Executive Director of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library, and I graduated from NDSU in 2015. Growing up in Mayville was a pretty incredible experience, very proudly a Class B kid. When I was in high school, I was extremely interested in politics and government. I would spend a lot of my time watching C-SPAN. I had incredible parents, Rob and Kim Lauf, still very involved in the NDSU community. We grew up going to NDSU football games and basketball games every week. From a very young age, I knew that NDSU was the place I wanted to be. I am a fourth generation NDSU graduate. When I got to NDSU, I decided to move towards the political science department. My sister was a student at NDSU when I went there. She introduced me to the campus. She introduced me to all my friends. I quickly joined everything from student government, Delta Tau Delta fraternity, Blue Key Honor Society, Bison Ambassadors, College Republicans, and the NDSU Scuba Club. The first job I had at NDSU was working for then Congressman Rick Berg's Senate campaign. Through things like Bike Share on Campus, which is a program we launched when I was student body president, the first person I got to meet through that program was a guy named Doug Burgum.
Robbie and I first got to know each other at NDSU, and we really got to know each other in student government. He was student body president. He was a Truman Scholar, which is, for those that know, it's a huge honor, known across the globe.
Through the Truman Scholarship, which I applied for, I was fortunate to get an interview. And then I got an email from Dr. Dean Brashani, the president of NDSU, that said, hey, we need you to come into the president's office right away. And he says, well, I got some pretty big news today. NDSU got their first Truman Scholar in 30, 40 years. After NDSU, I quickly moved to Washington, D.C. and did the Truman Scholarship Leadership Summer. But then that fall, our then Governor Jack Darnapole announced that he was not going to run for another term. But I just had a really good feeling in my gut that the man of the moment was Doug Burgum. So ended up being the first hire on his campaign.
I was maybe the third or fourth hire on the team, and we really didn't stand much of a chance at the beginning. But the team had so much energy and passion because of the vision of Doug.
We ended up winning a pretty surprising victory in the primary and then getting ready for the governorship. I took the opportunity to go serve in his administration. So everybody started reaching out wanting to talk to the next governor of North Dakota. There was a guy named Bruce Pitts. He reached out and he said, I want to tell you a little bit about the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library we're trying to build at Dickinson State University. And I said, this is the most incredible idea I've ever heard. And I was going to brief the governor. I said, I think it needs to move to Medora, North Dakota. And I don't think it's a $15 million project. I think it's a $50 million project. And he said, I think you're wrong. My face went white. I was so disappointed. He said, it's a $500 million project. And from that day forward, I think I've been fortunate enough to work on this project every day for 10 years. A few years into the Burgum administration, I had committed myself to still going to graduate school. I was fortunate enough to get into the Harvard Kennedy School, where I went after my master's in public policy. I thought a pretty big risk in my career to kind of take a pause, but frankly, I knew that further education was something that was important to me and that I could return afterwards. After Harvard, I ended up working at McKinsey, management consulting company. But frankly, I also learned that I really missed North Dakota. During my time at McKinsey, I got set up on a blind date in Medora. I drove 8 hours to come to the Badlands to meet a girl named Medora, and 1 minute into that date, I knew I would be moving home because I fell in love. While I was at Harvard, I also met this guy named Ed O'Keefe. He was writing a book about Theodore Roosevelt. Fast forward 4 or 5 years, he is the CEO of the library, and as he jokes, he paid me back by convincing me to come full-time work on this incredible project.
Robbie taking on the role as executive director was the perfect full circle moment. Robbie was one of the first guys to help make that connection with the governor that, hey, this library, it can be something even grander than what it's currently planned.
I think the benefits of the Theodore Roosevelt Presidential Library will be felt in every classroom across the state of North Dakota. This institution is going to attract global thinkers to discuss the greatest issues of our day, of conservation, about how we're going to take care of this planet for the next century. It's our hope to have presidential debates here, to make it a community gathering space where everybody feels welcome.
Robbie's deserving of the award because he's always thinking about what's the new thing that we can do, how do we bring more life to a project that we currently are working on, or how do we bring a new project into North Dakota. Could go on and on and on about Robbie and all the accomplishments he's had. And the amazing part is it's happened in such a short period of time.
My wife Medora and I live in Bismarck, and we spend our summers in Medora. That's a pretty special life for us, raising our 18-month-old son, Bobby. Will he be the next generation of NDSU grads? All Robert Charles Laufs have gone to NDSU. I would not be who I am if it weren't for NDSU. My greatest role models in leadership were at NDSU. People like Dean Brashani, like Doug Burgum, Christy Hansen, these people that transformed my life, who made me better. I think North Dakota State University is an economic driver for the future of North Dakota. And it's my goal to continue to use and support NDSU as a place to grow our state, to grow our economy, to transform the lives of our citizens. Supporting higher education is fundamental to our future, and I just know that NDSU will continue to play a larger and larger role in our state as we go forward.